Welcome everyone to Bienvenido a Cuba, a quick guide to prepare you for your Cuban travel experience. My name is Christina Tebow. I will be the facilitator of this webinar today. A little bit about me. I am a content creator, a freelance writer and author, business and life coach, the head of marketing and promotion for my client Mediaire Sophisticate, a luxury travel and lifestyle management concierge, and currently a student at Full Sail University earning my master's in public relations. I hope that you all enjoy this webinar today. I hope that you find it, within its simplicity, very informative and very insightful. A little bit about Cuba that some of you may not know. It is technically considered a Caribbean island, Caribbean country. It is located in Latin America. It is north of Mexico and south of Florida and the Bahamas. Also, some of you may not know that in 1960, the U.S. government placed an embargo on Cuba to where no Cubans or Americans could travel back and forth between the two countries. It has since been lifted by our president, Barack Obama, in September of 2015, which is a great thing because now we have travel opportunity. Um, there still is limitations. Unfortunately, between the two countries, tourism is not allowed, but there are ways around it and ways for you as a traveler to gain cultural experience and to be able to also partake in such a beautiful country. Come see Cuba. There are many things to do, including purchasing art, smoking an authentic Cuban cigar. If you're 21 and older, trying the Havana rum, visit the beaches, watch the cultural dances and performances, and eat delicious delicacies. Also, just to let you all know, Havana is the capital of the country. So, a little quick tidbit to give you some insight. There are important rules for traveling. In particular, there are 12 rules since unfortunately tourism is not allowed at this time. However, in me saying this, please don't let it discourage you from traveling. There are ways around it. A lot of cruise lines and a lot of travel agencies are currently underway, and some have already done a lot of group travel um, coordinating to where as long as it's an educational experience for the tourist, then technically you're not considered a tourist and you could actually come into the country and partake in a lot of um, travel and vacation experience while being informed at the same time and having a great learning experience. So, 12 of the rules that apply to having authority to come to Cuba is educational activities for schools, including people to people exchanges, open for everyone, professional research and professional meetings, public performances, clinics, workshops, athletic and other competitions and exhibitions, religious activities, humanitarian projects, journalistic activities, family visits to close relatives, activities in Cuba by private foundations or research or educational institutes, any type of support for Cuban people, exportation, importation, or transmission of information, technologies, materials, certain authorized export transactions, including agricultural and medical products, tools, equipment, and construction supplies for private use, and lastly, official business of the U.S. government foreign governments, and certain intergovernmental organizations. Again, with that being said, please don't let it discourage you from travel. There are so many ways around this, but keep in mind that as a tourist, um, you technically do not fall under that guideline, and you would have to make sure that you abide by the country's governmental rules, because otherwise, whether from the Cuban government or the American government, you would face penalty. Just some little tidbits to know. Um, do not drink the water. Unfortunately, their water is not purified the same as it is in America. Therefore, it can cause a lot of stomach irritation. Therefore, drink bottled water at all times. Don't get caught frolicking around. Therefore, if you are going under the pretense of educational purposes, you want to make sure that you abide by that first. And then you take in the other sites around the country. Particularly laying on the beach sunbathing would not be advised. And make sure that you apply for your visa and your passport ahead of time. These things do not come very quickly, and you definitely want to have enough preparation prior to you leaving for your trip. One thing about Cuba that you definitely can expect is the pure authenticity, cultural vibes, and just the exotic views and sights and experiences that you can't really get anywhere else. As I stated, the art scene is just very vivid and very passionate and just historical. The buildings, that the architecture, very historical, very colorful, very beautiful, and timeless. And of course, the people are beautiful. The culture, the ways, just something as simple as dancing, very beautiful and exotic within itself. Now I'm about to show you a brief video on things to know prior to traveling to Cuba. I think it's very helpful and very fun to watch. So take a look.
Take it from the top.
I'm Dory.
And I'm Blaze, and we're filmmakers who just returned from a trip to Cuba.
Before we left, we had a really difficult time finding any solid information about what to expect as American travelers and in general. So we've decided to put together this video in hopes of giving you some solid information and encouraging you to take a trip yourself.
The first question that everyone was asking us was, can you travel to Cuba as an American? And the answer is yes, absolutely. We traveled legally. We did not travel with a travel agency. We got our passport stamped, and we took a flight from New York.
It's really not that hard to go to Cuba, although we're still not technically allowed to go as tourists. So to get there, you have to fit into one of these 12 categories.
These categories actually existed before the travel ban was lifted, but you used to be required to get a license and visa ahead of time. Now you can just check a box on this form when you check in at the airport, buy your visa at the gate for $20 US, and enjoy your new freedom. As filmmakers, we went as journalists, and based on what we experienced and heard from other legal travelers, as long as you have a valid reason for visiting, no further proof is required.
Another question that people asked us is, where did we stay when we got there?
We stayed in Casa Particulars, which are private homes with rooms for guests.
These are basically like bed and breakfasts, and they're an amazing way to experience Cuban hospitality and home-cooked meals.
We booked the first couple nights on a website called Travel...
Three times.
Cuba Junkie, Cuba Junkie, Cuba Junkie. Before we left, we booked the first 2 nights of our stay via a travel website called CubaJunkie.com.
Now, you can also stay in hotels, and Airbnb even has listings in Cuba, but we highly recommend the Casa Particular experience.
Your host can advise on everything, connecting you with local tour guides and even casa hosts in other cities. Before arriving, we only booked our first few nights in Havana, but our incredible first host, Jorge, helped us figure out the rest once we were there.
Another question that we were asked a lot was, did you feel safe as an American traveling in Cuba? And the answer was absolutely.
We traveled throughout the entire country and never felt unsafe or uneasy at all. People were, in fact, really excited to be meeting Americans and just wanted to talk to us, get to know us, and spend some time with us.
So, what was Cuba like?
Cuba was
You killed it.
You killed it.
That was good.
Good job.
As you can see, Dory and Blaze had an amazing time, and they didn't let the no tourist rule stop them from going. You just, make it a educational adventure, and you can still obtain the same experience. And so that's why I definitely encourage all of you, if Cuba is on your list or dream places to visit, don't let anything come in between that. Go, travel, see the country. Cubans have a lot of pride. They're beautiful, wonderful people, just as we are in our own home country, but they are excited to see new people and to have that experience. And one thing that you may not know is that a lot of the Cubans actually speak English. So, whereas you think that there's this language barrier or that you may not feel safe, a lot of them are very inviting and welcoming and excited to meet you just as you are to meet them. Now, you may ask, why should I go through Mediaire Sophisticate for my travel experience when Dory and Blaze just stated that they booked it on their own? Well, I can tell you a lot of different reasons as to why Mediaire Sophisticated is, just a leading travel concierge, why they're so awesome. But it really boils down to a lot of basic but very important factors that I think is really important when traveling. Mediaire Sophisticated can definitely provide you cheaper rates, group travel, and individual travel bookings, perks, discounts, and traveling gifts. They have an exclusive network, and they have a partnership personally with Delta Airlines and American Airlines. This saves you time, effort, and allows you to take care of other things as you're preparing for your travel experience. In my eyes, these are very important factors, and this is why you should choose Mediaire Sophisticate as your travel concierge. Again, Cuba is a beautiful country with sights that you can only imagine seeing. The land is so beautiful and definitely makes for a wonderful, exciting, and new travel experience for you as a tourist. Remember again, don't drink the water. Instead, bring bottled water. Don't get caught frolicking around on the beaches acting like a tourist. Be sure that you are complying with the government rules. And apply for your visa and passport ahead of time. Don't wait until the last minute. I know Dory mentioned that she paid $20 for a visa up front. As we progress further, into the future, I'm not sure if that rule will still be valid during that time. You just definitely want to make sure, just traveling in general, that you have preparation and that you are just researching and just giving yourself enough time to make sure that you have the necessities that you need. Have my references available should you all wonder where I received the material from. And I'll open the floor for any questions, comments, and a brief survey at the end, just on your feelings about what you know now in regards to traveling to Cuba, how you feel about the webinar, and if you have any additional comments, we gladly appreciate it and welcome it. Lastly, here is my contact information, my email address, chrissyfixpr@gmail.com. My phone number, 925-852-4346. And my social media handle across the board from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr. It's all Chrissy Elaine PR. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you all learned at least a little bit more about traveling to this beautiful exotic country, and I hope that you are very encouraged going forward to, if not travel soon, then definitely make it one of your travel experiences in the future. Have a wonderful day.